What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another amazing episode of the Glory Boys podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Austin.
I'm Darren.
I'm Trev.
And I'm Ray.
And this podcast was designed to help creatives build wealth. Over the past 5 years, we built a multi-six-figure video production company, and our goal with this podcast is to help you go to the next level in your creative journey.
Yes, no matter what part of the journey you're in the creative process, whether you just started out or you've been doing this for years, our hope is that this pod inspires you.
If you want to follow us on social, you can find us on Instagram at The Glory Boys Pod, on TikTok at The Glory Boys Podcast, or on any of your favorite podcast streaming platforms.
And if you want to see any of the behind the scenes, the weddings, the music videos, anything else we do, just go visit our YouTube channel at Glory Visuals. And if you want to follow us on Instagram at Glory Visuals, you can see all the behind the scenes, the day-to-day stuff, everything else we post on there.
And without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Today, we are very excited to have a special guest, Mr. Collin Clough. Collin is a 21-year-old fresh out of college, went to Iowa State University, and just moved back to his hometown, started a clothing brand his junior year of college that is now picking up some really, really great traction. And I think you guys are going to love just what we cover in today's episode, and to hear Collin's heart and his vision and really the level of maturity that he carries at such a young age. And I'm really excited to dive into today's episode.
So let's get ready. He's tough. He's buff. It's Collin Clough. Let's go.
Collin, thanks for being on the show.
Let's go.
Glad to have you, man.
What's up? First ever podcast.
Let's go.
First ever pod. Let's go.
Yep,
That's
I'm
sick.
excited.
I love it.
Yep.
Welcome.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you. Sorry, Darren.
Glad to have you.
Glad to have you.
Glad to have you.
Well, we're glad to have you. And you're 21 years old, about to turn 22, as he said earlier.
Yep.
So
Next week.
really getting up there. And just moved to Omaha recently from Iowa, right?
Yeah, I went to Iowa State for my college degree in product design.
Okay.
So I'm back home. Born and raised in Omaha, so I'm back home right now.
Awesome, man. So just graduated college, started your clothing brand here a couple years ago. Tell us about how that all came about and where it started.
Yeah, so right now, I currently own a apparel clothing line called VFS Apparel. It's a lifestyle brand. Started back in my junior year, heading into my junior year of college. I lived in Ames for the summer. I was a recruitment trainer for my fraternity. So, I got really big into lifting when I got into school. And that summer I bought my first camera, and I was set on I was gonna be a fitness influencer. And so I was, putting out workout content, whatnot, that everyone's trying to do nowadays.
Yep.
And the industry's going right now. And at the time, all these big names they were big, but they're not as big as they are now. So I was trying to get sponsored by all them. I really wanted to be sponsored by Young LA and Raw Gear, and all the fitness people listening to this know those brand names. So and after about a month, I just kind of was like, this isn't really what I want to do. I went to school for design. I loved clothes. I loved, what these companies were doing too. So I was like, I kind of just want to start my own. And, being in school, like, no one taught you how to start a business. No one taught you how to do any of that. So I was just like, okay, well, where the heck do I start? And so, that's where VFS came to be. And I was just up, late night, just thinking of what was most important to me. Start with the brand too. I knew I wanted it to be clean. I didn't want it to be like a cheesy name. I wanted it to be something that resonated with people, that stood out. So, I knew I wanted it to be an acronym as well. I don't know why. I just love like the acronym, and you got to dig deep into the brand to figure out what it means. So that's kind of where VFS started. It stands for Vision, Fruition, Success. And the way I kind of thought about it was, it's kind of like a three-way process for, chasing your dreams. So it all starts with your vision you have for life. And the next step is climbing that mountain, chasing the mountaintops and bringing it all to fruition. And then the final step is kind of like your success and whatever that means to you. It doesn't have to be the money or the fame. And I knew that's not what I wanted it to be. I wanted to just do something that I loved with my life. And so for anyone, it can be, your success can be your fulfillment, your impact on people. And so that's where it started. That's kind of where the name started. And then my first drop was October of my junior year. And I've learned so much since then. It's quite the learning curve, but in college, a lot of people supported me too. But honestly, the coolest thing is just realizing what is out there, like outside the lines of society.
Yeah.
Like I was 20 years old at the time. I had no idea that I could be working with manufacturers and that I could be working with legal stuff, all the the small stuff in business. But
that's what I was going to ask is how do you get to that point? Like with a design background, like it's easy to see the connection between like, okay, you have this idea for a product and blah, blah. So you're like pretty involved, just self-involved with the design.
Yeah.
But how did you get to the point of like, I want to be choosing these materials and I want to be doing this. Like, I feel like a lot of clothing starts with just like, who will print a t-shirt for me?
Yep.
And that's just like where you go. So how'd you get that deep into like your actual...
You jumped a pretty significant process, like step of the process from someone that starts, in their basement to now manufacturing overseas as a 20-year-old. Like
that's insane.
That's a big gap. Like even as a 30, just now turning 33-year-old, like just figuring that out is an option.
Yeah.
Like it took me that long to. So how did you get there that quickly?
Oh, that's funny you asked. So I had the logo made and I had no idea where to go next, like at all. But I knew that I wasn't going to just put out, a Gildan t-shirt, especially because at the time I was more focused on,
we don't need more Gildan t-shirts.
Yeah. I mean, Gildan's great for the streetwears and the more vintage vibes that everyone loves. But I just knew that if I was going to compete at any level, I have to have,
quality,
quality. Yep. So my first ever order was, I think it was 9 t-shirts from a company called Rush Order Tees.
Wow.
Got it in about like a week.
Nice.
And it was horrible quality. I ended up changing the logo completely, but that was the start. I sold them to my closest friends for $20.
Nice.
Went net negative on that.
Sick.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. And so from there, I just started like YouTubing and researching I was like, how do brands start? Where do they go? Where do they go? And from there, I had seen an overseas manufacturer that had a shirt that I wanted to start with, which is just a raglan cut. That was the OG shirt, just a raglan cut workout shirt.
What is a raglan cut for?
It's when the seams come up through here. They don't cut off on your shoulders.
Got it.
Come up to your neck.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like the shirt you're wearing right now.
Yeah.
Got it.
Nice. Yeah. So that's it's and it was so it hugs your shoulders and your chest and whatnot.
Sure.
And
makes you look huge.
Yeah. And so on that topic of materials and stuff, I'm still learning today, but when I started, I hit up the manufacturer. I was like, hey, I got a logo file. Can you just throw it on the chest for me? And the same on the short.
Yeah.
And knowing what I know now about manufacturing, they could have totally taken advantage of me and known that I had no idea what I was doing. My manufacturer, he treated me well and he did it for me. I mean, I had no clue what I was doing at all.
Well, yeah.
It turned out good. That first drop was mainly just, your friends and family supporting you.
Right. Yep.
The second drop was hoodies. Still learning here and there about stuff. Mainly friends and family supporting. But after that, it's like you got to start actually putting out top of the line quality for people to start, because your friends and family aren't going to keep spending all this money on you.
True.
That's when you got to start attracting the real audience. And that's where I knew I had more than just the clothes to work with.
Sure.
I had that like trying to show people that I'm also 20 years old, trying to chase my dreams. And that's what I'm also preaching to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm not 40 years old with a lump of money under me and I'm just trying to make more money.
Sure.
Like I just was like, trying to prove to myself that it's possible.
Yeah.
Right.
And also trying to prove to other people that it's possible.
Yeah, that's great.
So, yeah.
So what's the like product testing like for you? Like how many samples are coming back and forth between you and manufacturer before you like are really deciding this is what I want to go with, this is what we want the drop to be and all of that? Like, is that a long drawn out process or is it just like they nail it every time or what?
They've nailed it a few times, but I would say it's usually about 2 samples.
Okay.
It takes 3 weeks for them to get in.
Yeah.
But it's usually about 2 samples. It can be stressful, when you're working on a timeline.
For sure.
But that's just the fun of it. Like you just learn so much.
Yeah.
Like I'm still learning to this day, So that's we get it in and we see, okay, are all the logos correct? Wash it, see what it's gonna look like in the wash. All those different factors.
Yeah.
And then there's been times where I've had to just be like, okay, I need you to change this, but I can't afford to wait for another sample. So like, I just pray that you do it well.
Right.
And it hasn't failed me yet.
Yes.
For sure.
But,
Sick. Yeah, we've had to do things like that. Yeah, it's cool because we also own a clothing company. So we've been able to be homies. We're not really serving the same exact like demographic or whatever, but I mean, at the same time, like, I don't really care. Honestly, everybody, you know, can purchase whatever they want. And I don't think there's like, I'd rather share secrets and talk about it and chop it 100%. Up rather than, you know, like, oh, I can't share what manufacturer I used for my hoodie because then you're going to copy. It's like, no, bro, I want you to win. Like, what secrets do you know? What secrets can you share? And I know you and Andrew, our other business partner in our clothing company, have talked a lot about that, like specific stuff. So I love that. That's so awesome.
Yeah, you guys have been awesome to me. Cause that's what a lot of the industry's like. It's a lot of like cutthroat, like I'm going to get where I'm going to get. And that's like opposite of what I'm trying to do for sure.
Right.
I'm trying to like show people. Yeah. So no, you guys have been awesome for that. It's meant a lot to me. So
heck yeah.
Yeah. I want to back up in your design career, I guess. So you started this in college. How soon after you started designing and stuff did you know it was going to be a clothing line? Because I see like on your personal website, you have like really sick, like 3D models, like some other products. I don't know if they were like original ideas or just part of like college projects you had to do. I don't know what they are, but they're really sick and you're really talented.
Wait, you do 3D modeling too?
Yeah, I did CAD rendering in college.
So, it's like,
I might have to have another conversation about that.
Yeah, I
have some
rendering.
product ideas that I have no idea how to make come to life. So
yeah, SolidWorks and Keyshot was cool. I think majority of my college, I was I went through my phase that everyone goes through when they get to college, the drinking, the partying and the whatnot. And, mine was pretty short lived because I just, after I got in the right headspace, I was like, I'm ready to like go after it. I got one life here on this earth and I want to make an impact. I want to leave a legacy. And, that's far different than what a lot of people around me were thinking about too. And so I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I was going to figure it out like some way. I just knew that I had to put in the right steps to figure it out. And, so the way VFS started, it came from me kind of like pursuing my own personal development. I went through kind of a rough patch, the first semester of my sophomore year. And that second semester was me really just trying to get in tune with myself. I was doing like a lot of just taking time with myself. I stand by journaling. I love journaling. So I did that for a while. I was doing that every day, every night, every morning, every night.
Yep.
And so, back to your question, I guess I was a little sidetracked, but it just kind of came out of nowhere really. And then my junior year, I kind of tailored what I was learning in school to try to help me with the brand. So
tell us about like your upbringing. Like what are your parents like? Like how was your home life? It seems like you had a good home life, but maybe I could be wrong. If not, like you're crushing it. But even so, you're crushing it. Like,
profiling.
Tell us a little. Well, no, I think it's helpful to understand because
I love.
Not many people at your age have the perspective and outlook on life that you have, and so I want to just give credit where credit due if there is some, but also just I think it's helpful for people to know where that came from, where your drive and sense of maturity came from.
So I grew up, very loving home. I had two older brothers.
That'll do it.
Mom and dad who've shaped who I am today, and I'm forever grateful for them. But yeah, growing up as a kid, I was always like such a worrier, dude. I just worried about everything constantly, and it made me super anxious all the time. But I kind of my background, I grew up like I always kind of had like my own side business going. Like every summer, I was doing garage sales, like all the stuff my parents bought me, I sold, and then they would just I would just keep it.
Got them.
I mean, shout out to them, they let me keep it. So so that's kind of that's where that started. And
were you like the kid that like hustled like toys at recess or like CDs or like Pokemon cards or anything like that?
And
that was me in fifth grade. I would literally I would come home with $100 bills. As a 12 or 11-year-old, my mom's like, where did you get this? Like she didn't even have $100 bills as a kid. And so yeah, I would come back and be like, Mom, I'm going to buy a mongoose bike with 4 pegs. And she's like, how? And I'm like, this. Like, where'd you get that? I'm like, I literally traded Pokemon cards and like hustling. A CD for this, and then come home. I'd go to school with a worse CD player, and then come back with like a way more nice digital.
The trade up.
Yeah. So did you like hustle like on the recess playground?
Not to that extent. No, I wasn't bringing home hundreds, but no,
it did happen all the time. But
I was just a geek over like stuff. Like, I had a huge WWE wrestling collection.
Sick.
Me and like the homies in middle school, we would bring them to our lockers and like show each other, or elementary school.
Yeah.
Did you actually have like the actual ring and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Do you still have that stuff?
No, dude, I had.
Terrence trying to sneak. He's like, no, will you sell it to me?
That's what he sold at the freaking garage sales. Dude.
I did sell it at the garage sales for a lot of money, but
I bet.
Yeah, dude, I had the 6-man in a cage ring. Yeah,
sick,
dude.
With like the dome and stuff.
Yes, the glass would break.
Oh my gosh, dude, that was
epic.
Did you guys ever play WWE wrestling?
Heck yeah.
No, I have no freaking clue what you're talking about.
WWF.
Sounds fun.
They don't have that anymore, I don't think.
No, the
WWF.
No, just the actual 6-man in a cage event.
I don't think so.
That was back in the Edge days.
Yeah,
right.
Couldn't tell
you. WWF.
Yeah,
when they announced WWE, it was like WWE, get the F out. That's exactly what it was. Dude. Every commercial.
Blake and I had these things called Wrestle Buddies. They were like stuffed. Like I had Sting. He's my favorite wrestler of all time.
Yeah, because he's a baller.
Yeah, Blake's was Hulk Hogan.
Nice.
And they were just like these plush, like
safe ones.
Yeah, safe ones. And they were called Wrestle Buddies, and you could just absolutely dominate them, and it was awesome.
You guys probably remember Stretch Armstrong's.
I've heard of them.
They used to make, this is like 94. Like I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
I did have one actually.
You weren't alive.
But
That's when I was born.
So now they're super expensive now, but Hulk Hogan and a couple other.
I think I know what you're talking
older
about.
Their
wrestlers,
arms are stretchy, right?
Yeah, you could stretch their arms like 6 feet or even, when I was a kid, it felt like they could stretch for miles.
Right.
Like, yo, let's test it out. I'm pretty sure we broke my buddy's Hulk Hogan one, but now those are like super worth a lot of money.
Was that one of the ones that was filled with like the really fine white powder?
The beads
stuff?
Yeah, like the beaded powder stuff. And if you broke it,
really toxic.
I'm sure.
Anyways,
but anyway, I love collectibles and toys and things, and I was the same way growing up. But anyway, continue your story.
Yeah, I wish I wouldn't have sold everything I had. I had like a limited edition Pokemon Game Boy and stuff too.
Dang.
Yeah, so that kind of transitioned to high school when I played baseball. I like was obsessed with like baseball gloves, and so I ran my own glove repair business where like everyone on my team would come to me. They're like, "Yo, I have a black Wilson A2000. Can you like fix it up? And I want yellow laces in it." And so I would charge people for the lace and then my own profit.
Sick.
No kidding.
Yeah,
you stitching them up and stuff.
Oh yeah, dude. And I would take it before and after. And it'd take me like 3 hours to do a glove.
Yeah.
And I would condition it. I would clean the logos. And dude, that's some crazy transitions. I loved it. And my goal was to get into Shields. My goal was to like get my like sign up and
have like a little booth and
yeah.
Well, like the shoe polish guy at the airport, but cooler.
Well, no, because Shields actually had like for a long time. I don't know if they do anymore, but they have a booth that they would kind of like do repairs. Like
they would
wax snowboards. They would put your skate decks together. They would do all kinds of stuff like that.
All that.
Yeah. So you could definitely.
They do have a little like humidifier for gloves when you first buy one,
sucks.
but it totally does. Yeah.
So I was like the mini. I was like the mini mitt mender. Like I just I was obsessed.
What was what was the company name?
I didn't have one.
Oh, mitt mender would have been.
That was just a straight side hustle.
I was taken by a guy in Omaha that I went. He kind of taught me how to get started.
Okay.
Nice.
He's like this he's like this older guy in Omaha, and he
just. Dude, I kind of want to do that now.
So the mitt mender taught you how to be a mitt mender.
Yeah, he had rotator cuff surgery because when you're fixing gloves, you're pulling always.
Yeah.
He had rotator cuff surgery, and I as a 15-year-old, because my dad had to drive me there. I would just work for him, and he would just pay me to catch up on the gloves.
That's crazy.
It was cool. It was cool.
That is cool. Man.
I love that.
Yeah,
I was mowing lawns instead, but that sounds way cooler.
Yeah, it was short lived, but it was super cool.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of just how I started. And I've just always felt the urge that there's just something more out there.
Yeah.
I just have never wanted to live by what everyone's telling me to do.
Yeah.
Just, I've always found joy in that. So
it's great. So
I'd say that's the root of it. Yeah.
So you just did a drop recently, right? Was the hoodie the most recent thing still?
Yeah.
Okay. And you sold out.
Yeah, that was my first ever sellout.
That's sick. Let's round of applause real quick.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job.
And now we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming with encouragement time.
This encouragement time this week is brought to you by ya boy, and I'm wearing a Mighty Ducks hat here, and we're just gonna pull up a really inspirational quote from the Mighty Ducks, because here's the thing: the trilogy is epic. If you've never seen it, like, you need to go back and watch it. It'll shape you as a man, shape you as a team player. It'll just inspire the heck out of you. And there's great quotes from front to back. That thing is just, oof, chef's kiss. All right. A team isn't a bunch of kids out to win. A team is something you belong to, something you feel, and something you have to earn. Wow.
Ooh.
That is a jam.
Wow.
I mean, a bunch of 13-year-olds on a hockey team. Like, cool. In all seriousness, though, if you are doing this journey of entrepreneurship and you don't have a team, don't get down. Like, here's the thing. Trev, before we hired Trev, he was doing everything on his own. He started his own video production company and realized after a year, like, I didn't get into this to do it by myself. Right. And he reached out, and honestly, it turned into an awesome opportunity. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying all of you reach out and come work for Glory Visuals. What I'm saying is that it's okay to get to a place where you realize, I don't want to do this alone. I want people in my circle. I want a team to build. And so if there are companies that are just starting out, that maybe be a team of 4 to 10 people, reach out to them. Say, hey, can I come intern for you? Can I please come, just shadow you on set, whatever that may be. And it could turn into an opportunity in the future, but don't get down. You don't have to do this alone. There's plenty of people that want to bring you to be a part of the team. Yep. We hope you guys are super encouraged. We're super excited. Let's get back into the episode.
Yeah,
that's awesome, bro.
It was pretty overwhelming. It's hard. In the world of comparison, you see these companies out here that 800,000 followers, but you just, and I do it too, but you just can't compare yourself to them. You just got to compare, to where you were yesterday, where you were a month ago. And so, no, that was really cool. That was super overwhelming from our community.
Sure. What was it like? So it's, how long did it take to sell out?
The first day was like they were wiped. Yeah. But to get it every single size sold out, it was probably about 5 days after when the last double XL sold out.
Dude, that's incredible. What a feeling that must. Were you just like watching the orders come in? Like, what is going on, dude?
I was
just like Shopify, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's just, for me, I've always been such a soft-spoken person. I'm pretty introverted, so I just I didn't know a way to express my gratitude, because I didn't know how to do it.
Right.
But it was awesome. So yeah, all love for everyone who supports us out there. It was awesome.
So sick.
So if you could go back to 2020 or to 20-year-old Collin or 19-year-old Collin.
So last year?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
What's the biggest thing that you know now that you wish you knew starting out?
Oh man.
I know it's a loaded question. You get only one thing.
Only one.
The biggest thing.
Honestly, I'd say the biggest thing is just to never give up, dude. It's so easy to give up in our society. It's so easy. And I'm not saying everyone needs to be an entrepreneur or everyone needs to do this and that, but I would say, and I haven't given up, but this is what I would tell anyone is to not give up. Yep. Because it is so, it's hard, dude. I mean, one slip back and you're down on your luck and you just want to give up and you just want to fall back to where you were before.
Yeah. Right.
And so I would say that's
comfortable, what's easy. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I don't want to say a normal life is bad, because it's not at all. But for me, I was just I gotta stay true to my vision. Mm-hmm. And I battle that every day. Yeah. That comparison and the thoughts of, what if this doesn't work and whatnot. But I read it from a really cool book. You just got to focus on one more day of not quitting. One more day of putting in that work.
Yeah.
And
it's a great mindset.
It compounds.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
Yeah.
So VFS you have an app. Yes?
No. That was my senior project.
Oh, it was a senior project. Okay.
Yeah.
I was because I was wondering what that was. I was like, this is really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you want to talk about it then. It's just a project, but
let's talk about your fake app.
Yeah, no, so my senior year, or my senior capstone, I was going to do just like work on VFS, but I don't think my professors wanted that. And then I kind of thought to myself, it would probably be cooler if I explored a new avenue. So I worked with like UX design, Adobe XD, Figma. I don't know if you know all those, but the goal was to create an app that could like tie my community into one app so we can all start talking with each other.
Yeah, that's true.
Because right now we have Instagram and it's like, oh, they tag someone in a story and he's wearing the hoodie. I have that same hoodie. But this app was designed because my main focus, you know, obviously the products and stuff, but my main focus has been trying to show people what we're actually about.
Right.
You know, you saw that 2-minute video I put out and whatnot. So
yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll link that in the description, by the way.
Yeah.
You guys just put out like a vision video.
Yeah. It was like a short film.
Yeah. It's like a short film. It's sick. I love it. City opens up. It's like,
Shout out to my friend Luis for that. He killed that.
Dude, he did. He crushed it. It just felt like you guys have felt like super on brand. And you said he just came in and knew exactly what to do.
Yeah, no, he gets me well. He knows like when I tell him I got a vision for this, because he specializes in that videography work.
Sure.
And so when I tell him I got a vision for this, he's like, I got you. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Sick.
Yeah, so the app is so it was basically, to break it down, it had a shop in it, obviously. But when you would load in, it had each month was going to be a theme. So like, for example, I had February. February's theme was fear. And each month would have a theme.
Yep.
And there was a community section where users would go in and there would be a daily prompt based on the monthly theme. So it was like
Sick.
So it was like fear, and it'd be like, let's talk about what you fear most in life and why. And the community could then interact with each other.
I see.
It could be like, oh, like this person posted about this, I'm gonna like hit them up and talk to them about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was a personal accountability journal, which would have taken a long time to develop, but it was stuff with like daily gratitude, stuff like that, your biggest goals, just, you know, basically an online accountability journal.
Yep.
And then there was a mindset training section, which would be like where I would be typing up blogs and articles talking about, you know, mindset focused stuff and you know, vision stuff like that, believing in your dreams, stuff like that, motivational type stuff.
Inspiring, yeah.
And so yeah, those were the three biggest features of the app. I still one day would like to make it, but
yeah, it looked, like I said, it looked super cool. And the reason I ask is because I feel like you've got like this secret sauce of, you care as much, maybe more about that community around your brand than you do just like the actual products you want to sell to people.
Oh, I do.
And that's what I think is so incredible, and that I think a lot of people don't have, is like, we care about you as people first. Like, we want you to buy our stuff. It's great stuff, blah, blah, blah. But like, we care about building this community because we care about the people. And so that's originally why I asked, because I felt like the app was getting at that. And so I was just really curious and wanted to know, kind of where that came from. But just credit to you for having that mindset, remaining in that mindset of people are the most important thing. And you deliver what you can to them, and you know, it's the best.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's one thing I've come to learn too, is, you know, at the end of the day, everyone wants to be like financially stable. You know, obviously everyone wants that, but like you start to learn when you really start to get in tune with yourself, and the real reason why we are all here is that, like, the real meaning in life is like relationships and your interactions with people.
Sure.
Because like that's what we're all people here. And so like that's the biggest thing, and that's what's going to bring you the most fulfillment, not the materialistic things. You know, that's one thing that I know it's preached all the time, but it's like, it's the most true thing. Yeah. That's where the real fulfillment lies, in serving others, like leaving a legacy, you know?
Yeah, that's great.
So what does your team with VFS look like right now? Is it just you? Do you have people that help you with fulfillment? Or, you know, you mentioned your friend Luis that does video with you. Like, just kind of break it down for us, like how everything runs. Yeah.
And even like, how do you sell it? Like, sometimes I think one of the barriers too, even just us learning about what platform do you use? Like, I can sell it, but like, you know, how do you take payment? You know, like there's all these little hoops that you have to jump through. So how do you, I guess, run the business, and who helps you do it?
Yeah. So, I got a lot of close friends that help me with it. Like, I'm not big enough yet to where I have employees. Yeah. But it's just me and a small group of friends. Luis is he helps us a lot with like when we you know, he has his own schedule, so when we can work with him. But pretty much, yeah, it's just I do the designing, and you know, I try to work fully on that and digital creation and whatnot, and then I have my very tight group of friends that I run over the designs with. But no, I handle all the day-to-day stuff. So anytime you see an Instagram post, it's me posting it. Anytime you see an Instagram story, it's me. Anytime a product's being released, it's me. Or like, and then I have my girlfriend and my close friends, they all help me with shipping all the stuff out. And yeah, so we all work as a team. Obviously one day I would like to hire and have people under me as well. Yeah, sure. And then we just have like we just have a small but close group of ambassadors. So nice. And I'm you know, I take the ambassador stuff really seriously. I don't want to just hand it out to anyone and everyone. So I have we go through a pretty extensive process if someone's interested in joining. I know we're not young LA and whatnot, but I take it pretty seriously. I want to see you know, where their heart's at and whatnot. Right. So yeah, we're small right now. Just really the people that believed in me from the start, and but we're getting there slowly.
Yeah, man.
You know, that's the goal. So
always starts there, and I feel like those are the times that 5 years from now you'll be looking back at just fond memories of. I mean, I'm sure when like the hoodies all sold out in 5 days, like you probably had like a shipping party or something. I don't know. Like I guess I would. I don't know. Maybe you did them all by yourself, you know, late at night. But
it was me, my girlfriend, and one of my best friends, Alex. Yeah, we got to work writing handwritten notes to everybody. That took about 6 hours, and then the actual packing took about 3.
Yeah. That's awesome though.
Yeah, we didn't really celebrate. Actually, we did. We went down to Florida and had a nice dinner.
Yeah,
so,
there you go.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
awesome.
I saw that. I saw your photos. It looked beautiful. It was like freaking blizzarding here.
Right.
I was like, bro, that looks so nice.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
You guys having steak dinners and chilling with your shirt off.
Dude, it's something to celebrate though, man.
Yeah, dude.
It's really incredible.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's super inspiring. I mean, life's boring if you're not, you know, doing something that fulfills you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think what you're saying is, I mean, everybody wants to be involved with something that is making a difference, right? But it's one thing to like start it and push it forward, because I mean, we even have people all the time. We now have 2 companies and we have a podcast and we have all this stuff that from the outside, like seeing it on our social, like, oh, that looks so sick. I wish I had your life. But like, there is like a weight that comes with, you know, the responsibility.
Risk.
There's risk. There's, you know, and obviously we're a little further in the journey. We've been doing this way longer, but like, there's just such a responsibility that comes with running your own company.
Yeah.
And because you're not doing it to just put out products and sell it to make money, I think that's the difference between you and just kind of the everyday person that's just printing on a t-shirt. And I think that's why you're just going to sustain and keep going through and through. Like, whether it's VFS or other things you start with other people, or, you know, collaborations or whatever that looks like, you're just going to continue to be successful because you just said it. The key is to focus on the next day of not quitting. And so I think just having that mindset now at such a young age, like, bro, you're just gonna, I mean, I'm literally 10 years older than you and I'm finding out some of this stuff now. Like, but you know, in upbringing and having a solid family and all that stuff helps obviously, but like, man, I'm just like I'm excited to know you and like to be able to watch the journey and like be homies, whether you move for a little bit or not. I'm hoping that maybe it's not forever, but you know, like, cause we need awesome people like you in Omaha, Nebraska. You know, one of the reasons we didn't leave, and a big part of it is we just love the Midwest. It's home. And I feel like everyone here is trying to do something big and better. And, oh, I got to move to LA. I got to move to Chicago. I got to move to Nashville. I got to move to New York, which I've had friends move to all those places before to go pursue music careers, to go pursue something. And it's like, you don't have to go somewhere big to be significant. And I just, we're just here trying to raise the bar in Omaha, Nebraska. It's our home.
Yeah. Thank you.
But you're killing it, man. And we're just super proud of you and super excited to keep seeing it like just dominate.
Yeah. It's no, it's super cool. But on that point, there's a ton of risk. You know, it's, you run into the people that question you, like, what are you doing? Why are you not just like working a 9 to 5? And why are you not just like putting your first down payment on your home and just doing it like
everyone else,
like mom and dad did or whatever. But it's
Following the path.
Yeah. So there's a ton of pressure on yourself too. But there's just such freedom in like living life on your terms. I mean, obviously it takes a different, level of commitment and level of discipline, Everyone wants to do it, but until you get it, hardwired into you that you're going to do it, that's really when stuff starts to come together. So yeah. And it's not easy. People might think, I've had people hit me up and be like, "Oh, you run a clothing brand. Like, how much money do you make?" Or like, can like I be like this and that? I'm like, dude, I don't have money to hire you.
Right.
It's not like just because it was started, it's something crazy now, it's a long journey. It's a long process. And so, but it's super awesome when people are eager to learn about it.
Yeah.
I love, sharing the story.
Oh, for sure. So what would you say like your biggest challenges right now? Like, you just had your most successful drop and you're kind of seeing some upward momentum and like, what is the thing that you're facing like maybe today or this week or this month in your clothing brand? Like what's the biggest challenge?
Kind of on that point I just talked about is I want to start having like an official team.
Yeah.
I want to be, but you're not going to get many people to work for you for free.
Right.
Sure.
And, I have, like I talked about my squad right now that, supports me to the death, but it's, that's the biggest thing. I want to create a community or a company culture like ASAP.
Yeah.
Sure. I want to have like an office. I want to have an area where people come in and they love working for VFS and they love promoting it.
Yeah.
So that's been my biggest struggles. I wish I could just have someone that's, a team under me that's like, hey, I'm going to go out and I'm just going to go do this all day for you while you focus on product development or, like content creation, something like that. So that's been the biggest struggle, but, it'll come.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
You gotta have faith.
I'm just curious. You talked about you want to have company culture, have an office. Have you heard of or have you completed like a VTO?
No.
Yeah.
What is that?
Okay. It's a vision traction organizer. So if you've ever heard of like EOS or Traction by Gino Wickman.
Yeah, I've heard of EOS.
Entrepreneurial operating system. So the VTO is a very core part of that.
Oh.
And it includes like your mission statement, your vision statement, your core values, like a 1-year picture, 3-year target, 5-year goal kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that would be just a recommendation to you. It's something that just from experience, we waited way too long to do until we'd already hired employees.
Right.
But I would say if you can get those things down on paper or even print it off and put on the wall like we have out here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Before you have that team.
Yeah.
I think you're just going to set yourself up for that much more success. And then the other thing I would say is documenting all of the processes that you can right now that you could pass off to somebody.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to sit down with them for 2 weeks and train them. You can hand them a document on how to do this thing and they can just follow the process. So things right now, like you can be thinking about and preparing for so that when you do have those employees, you're ready to go and you have things in place.
Yeah, we did some of that backwards where we're now coming up with
all of it backwards.
SOPs, like a standard operating procedure on how to do this in our company. And him and I are both figuring that out. And then we can delegate properly instead of just like
how to post to Instagram, for example.
Yeah, like you have
how to post a reel. You want to make sure that it's not, it's in the right dimensions. There's like simple instructions that as you're doing it, you could just write out like, here's how to post it. And that's a simple example, but that's something now you don't have to teach somebody to do.
Yeah.
And you can just kind of document out how you do it, not just like how anybody does it, but how you specifically do it and how your company should be doing things. But
because you're probably, if I know from the way that you share, but you personally like to touch your social media and you speaking your voice. Well, the reality of it is if you want something that's going to grow and build, there's going to be times where you can't post on social. And so like you have a TikTok and an Instagram and a website and a blog and you got all this stuff. Well, you're going to want somebody to know how the brand needs to be shown. Like you would never post this ever, and you'd never just repost from this account. You want things to look clean and professional. You want it to feel like personable. You want it to add value. So there's like steps that you can, write into those SOPs on how to post to Instagram. And that's just like just an example, but there's tons of other ones. We have a million that we've thought of. I can't even think of any other ones, but anyway, just like the opportunity for you to before, because you care so much about culture and you want that culture in the office. Well, that can only happen if you build a strong foundation for people to step into when you start that process of hiring.
Because they can feel it.
Yeah.
Like you catch culture, and especially if, if you end up hiring one of your close friends, like obviously they're going to understand the culture. But if you don't hire a close friend, they can catch it and feel it. But if you have it in front of them, not only will I think they will kind of catch on to it quicker, but if it's maybe not the right person, you can also hold them to it because you set that expectation of this is who we are as a company.
I guess Trev would be a good perspective. So we hired him. We were friends like from social media, and we're friends with your brother, but like he started his own company doing video for a full year.
I did,
and through that we just been homies and like texted and messaged through Instagram or whatever. And he's like, hey, should I do this? Should I not do this? What camera should I buy? Whatever. So we gave advice because we were a little bit further in the journey. So then he started. And he's like, well, I want to do this with people. So he hits us up. He's like, what does it look like to like work for you guys? So from you like looking at what we were doing, like how did you adapt, or did you already understand the culture from the way that our social media and everything portrayed us? Or did you come into it and you got kind of thrown in, but obviously there's a learning curve there.
Yeah. A lot of it for me coming in here was like your transparency on social, and like I felt, even though we had maybe never met in person, maybe one time prior to that, like I felt like I had a genuine idea of like who you guys were, what you're about, what things you like, things like that. So that like really helped my expectations coming in of like, okay, I'm not just like walking into the unknown here. Like I have a good picture of who these guys are and what they care about. And then maybe even more importantly, outward facing, like what image they give to their clients, and what's most important to them is serving their clients. So I know coming in, if my top priority when I'm shooting with these guys is not to serve the person that we're shooting for, then that's not going to be a good match. I knew what situation I was walking into, and I wanted to be a part of like growing GV and putting those things into place and adding value where I could add value. And hopefully we continue to build the team as well.
So what's next? What does the future hold? Like what's like a big dream or goal of yours, like short term, something that you're obviously, okay, you just talked about having a team. That's one, but like,
well, a little teaser on the next drop. It'll be a 3-piece collection. Some sweats and
Did you bring us some?
No, I'm still waiting on one of them to come in.
Oh,
I got.
Are you doing the matching sweatsuit this time?
Or
no. So you got
sweat. The top one matches with the blue ones, but yeah, I got you guys because I'm gonna come here to film or just get my shots done.
Sick.
Yeah.
So you got sweat.
I'll get you guys plugged up, but I'd say this kind of goes along with my whole mindset about everything. A goal of mine is I potentially want to move to a new state within the next 10 months. And I talked to Darren about this, and you can always come back home for sure, but I've just had this kind of calling to get uncomfortable, and there's a fine line between like super nervous and just really excited, in my opinion, and I think that's where I'm at. It just sounds super exciting, just getting away and having life kind of be like, all right, you're on your own. Like, let's figure it out. And I think that would be amazing for the growth of my brand and of myself.
Yeah.
So, I think that's the biggest plan. I don't really want to reveal where yet.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It might be a little surprise.
I was just going to ask, but then
it might be a surprise.
Can we guess? I feel like I would guess it first try.
You'd probably guess it, but it might be a surprise for the brand as well. Yeah. So that's my biggest goal.
Yeah.
And I do, the next biggest plan is I want to have, even if it's just a small warehouse with one desk. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I'm tired of working at home.
Let's go. Right. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
A designated spot.
Yep.
That's awesome.
That's it. Yeah.
Honestly, I mean,
That's
for
dope.
people that are listening that are like, 20s, early 20s, like get started. Like we're literally listening to your story right now. Like you're grinding, you're doing it. And you're working some part-time stuff and like doing freelance work. And like you're making ends meet and you're making bills and you're making it happen, but it's a grind. Like you're not going to just start a company and just sell. I mean, some people do. I don't know.
Yeah.
They
They're rare.
print like a weird, like saying on a shirt on a Bella Canvas tee and somehow sell, thousands of that, in trendy stuff. Yeah, that can happen. But if you're going to build something sustainable,
it's not sustainable. Yeah.
And something that's going to inspire people and get people, especially when you care about people and the community, you just got to grind and you got to do it. And like, it's not like, oh, never sleep and do Gary Vee and, put out 50 videos a day. Like, come on, it's all about perspective. And it's like, bro, I get it. But yeah, man, it's like, it's inspiring, and it's inspiring to me as a 33-year-old, and you're doing great, man. Like I've told you off mic or on mic, like you're killing it, and we're super proud of you, and we're super excited to see it grow. And honestly, like anything we can do to help you and along the journey, like we're homies forever now. So like you start shaking hands with really dope people in Indonesia that have like the best shorts ever. Like I need you to call your boy up and tell me like, bro, I just found the best like shorts plug ever. Like, and vice versa. We'll do the same with you. So
that's been the biggest, like the coolest thing for me moving back home was meeting you guys. So I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, Collin, is there anything that you would leave our listeners with, or anything that we didn't ask you that you wish we would have?
Not really. I mean, we could probably sit here and talk for 5 hours.
Right.
This isn't Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Right. My biggest thing to people is, it's very uncomfortable starting your own thing and going against the grain, but no risk, no story. So that's right. That's something I like to live by. Go. So, and there's just something about just taking that risk and just believing in yourself. There's no better feeling internally. Yeah. So, it's better than living a life of, comfort's not good for us.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. So,
no risk, no story.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, Collin, where can we find you on social media? Where can these people come and find your brand, find your personal account? Give us all the plugs.
I'm trying to grow my personal and show people what I'm about. I'm more introverted, so it's a little bit harder. But you can just find me at collin.clough on Instagram, and the brand is at vfs.apparel. And same thing for the website, vfsapparel.com. And from there, you should be able to find out what we're all about. So
let's go.
Sick. Yeah. And Clough is Clough. Yeah,
Clough, not Clough.
That took me a little bit.
Clough.
I thought it was Colo for a while.
No, it's Clough.
Clough.
Just like tough.
Nice.
Like tough.
There you go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Collin, for being on our podcast this week.
Thanks, dude.
It was a joy to have you.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Heck yeah.
Well, what an amazing podcast episode we had as we chatted with Collin Clough of VFS Apparel.
Yep.
I hope you guys got as much out of it as I did. For me, it was really encouraging just hearing his perspective, the nuggets that he had to share with us, and really just being at such a young age. It's super inspirational what he's doing.
Yeah.
And the main nugget that I pulled from it was what he said there at the very end was no risk, no story. And so let that encourage you today that if you are faced with a big decision, take the leap, because especially if you're young, you have nothing but time. Even if it's the wrong move, you can always backtrack, and you can always redirect your course as things go. You don't have to have a perfectly laid out plan. Just take action, take that next step, whatever that is in front of you. Don't be afraid to take risks, because ultimately, if you're not willing to take any risk, then at the end of your life, there's not going to be a story to tell. And I think you'll be faced with regret, and we don't want that, do we? So,
I think really amazing people that are doing significant things take risks. And so let's do it. Let's be risk takers.
Let's go. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for listening. And again, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment, give us a review, all of that stuff. We'd love to hear your feedback. And if you have a question for us, if there's a topic you'd want to hear us cover, or if you'd like to be a guest on this podcast, shoot us a DM on Instagram at The Glory Boys Pod. We'd love to answer any of your questions, or maybe even turn it into a full podcast topic and do a full episode on it. But we love to hear your feedback. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.
See ya.
Peace.